Today, my video is about taking care of litter boxes. So you can really use any kind of container that you want for litter boxes. By the time you get your puppy, it'll be old enough to and big enough to hop over the sides of like these puppy pans. I have a link for these on our website on the frequently asked questions page. There's a checklist of products that I like, and these are nice for when they're small because there's the cutout, but probably most of the time or half the time they don't even use that little cutout. They just climb over the edge like she just did. So, but we've had the question, like, how often do you change the litter box? And it really depends on how you manage your litter box. You know, we usually have multiple puppies, so I try to pick up the poops during the day. So I'll show you. I'm trying to record the puppy because it's more interesting than puppy poop, but here's a little poop in there. And so I just get my little bag and get some toilet paper and just pick up the poops. And if you do that throughout the day, your litter will last, I mean, with just one puppy, several days, probably even a week. But what I do is, I don't know if you can see that the pellets have turned into sawdust in some areas. This is Juliet, by the way. Anyways, when I'm cleaning the litter box, I like to give it a little shake, because if there are some poops, then they rise to the top and it just redistributes the litter. And then you can see that there's still some sawdust there. So I would put a sprinkle of litter on top of that, because when it turns to sawdust, they track that sawdust out. And you can even see down at the bottom, there's some sawdust. Excuse me, little girl. Little girl for potty. Okay, and they love to just be right there playing. So I just give a little sprinkle. So this one was filled, or it's been a few days. This one has been out for a few days, probably today's Sunday, so probably since Thursday or Friday, and there were 5 puppies using it. So you can see it still has some good use out of it. I started off pretty shallow, that way I have room to add litter, but I do like the bottom to be covered because otherwise the pee will just kind of stick to the bottom. You gonna go potty? Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good girl for potty. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Sorry about that. So she has a nice fresh poop, so that was a good time to clean it up. If you can catch it, that's always best. And it just comes up really easy with just even like a couple squares of toilet paper. So I have a little trash can just right outside our sliding glass door here, where I put the poops during the day. Well, anytime. So here's another one. Whoops, let me see. This is first thing in the morning for little potato here. So he has a couple poops in there that I will pick up. And they're just really easy to pick up. And it's hard to get every single little crumb sometimes, depending on how often you do it. But again, just give it a little shake. So I could put a little sprinkle of litter, you know, to cover that or that. But he's not really in here very much, so this is just where he's been sleeping at night. So I would say that's okay. Now this one here, I purposely didn't do much with yesterday. So you can see when it's starting to get a little questionable. It's still, I look at the height for one thing to see how much space do I have to keep adding litter. And also this one, I purposely did not clean up the poops yesterday afternoon because I was thinking about making this video. And so just with them going in and out, they've kind of turned the pieces into little kind of poop crumbs. So they're a little harder to pick up when they're like that. So at this point you have a choice because it's pretty much, let me give it a shake. Well, that brought pellets to the top, but one thing I look for is, you know, how much sawdust is there versus litter. And I would say, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's mostly sawdust at this point. So I would say by the end of today, I'd probably consider dumping it, or because like those little poops are going to be too hard to pick up. I mean, you can if you are pretty tedious, but you could either just put a covering of litter over it, or you could just dump it. But